Welcome everybody to my full review of the Razer phone. Yes, this is a real surprise to me. I was super excited when this was announced and I was really surprised to have this come through to me to review. Before I talk to you about this, and obviously one of the main features, which is of course this gaming focused smartphone, I want to say a big thank you to a couple of companies. First of all to 3 UK for actually sending me out this to review. They made this video possible, and I mentioned this in my unboxing and first impressions, but thank you also to Razer for actually thinking outside of the box and creating a different smartphone, something that challenges what we would normally expect from a smartphone, with a gorgeous 120Hz display. And I'll talk to you a bit more about that display in a short while. So I'm playing Titanfall Assault at the moment. This is a gaming focused smartphone, mainly because of the display technology, but also because of the really good speakers that flank the screen when it's in landscape mode. And I just love the gameplay on this and the audio.
Go ahead, shoot me. Sentry gun online.
It's a very nice experience, and the audio that accompanies the game is really engaging as well. These front-facing speakers do an amazing job. And I wanted to start off the video really looking at this game purely because that's what it's being marketed towards. It's being marketed as a phone for gamers, but it is so much more than that. It does offer up some amazing features. Let me just turn this screen brightness down a little bit. I just absolutely have loved my experience with this. The screen, first of all, let's just cover the main feature and then we'll move on to some of the other aspects of this phone. So the screen is an IGZO display. It's actually got a 120Hz refresh rate. Now when you unbox this and turn it on for the first time, I think it's defaulted to 90Hz, or it might even be 60, and you can change that in the settings. You're not going to see the benefit of 120Hz in every scenario. You can see it in the games. In the game I was just playing there, Titanfall Assault. We also got World of Tanks on here as well. And you can see it when you're transitioning between screens and when you're scrolling around websites and just using normal apps. You can see that everything is a lot smoother. But it's really when it comes to gameplay that you do really experience that 120Hz refresh rate. And it is glorious. It is a very nice screen as well. Very evenly lit. Nice colours as well, and I just think they've done a fantastic job. A real change from what we normally get with smartphones. I think there's maybe one, maybe two other smartphones, I think from Sharp, that have 120Hz displays, but they've just done it so well here. Thin bezels either side, obviously thicker bezels top and bottom, and the speakers I want to talk to you a little bit about now. So we've got front facing speakers here. They go nice and loud, and they produce a really engaging audio experience, not only for gameplay, but when I've been watching back videos on YouTube on here, it's been a real pleasure. Having front facing speakers is really cool. So before I move on to some of the other things that I really like about this smartphone, I just want to say a big thank you to all of you for tuning into this live broadcast. I really do appreciate it. The live chat is there, so if you want to leave me any questions, I'll address those in the latter part of this video. Also, we have got super chat, so if you do want to support the channel, get your question or comment highlighted, super chat is there as well. And also, as I mentioned, a big thank you to 3 UK and Razer UK. Do check out the links down below to where you can pick up this smartphone for yourself. So let's talk about some of the other features. We have got Dolby Atmos sound, THX certified audio, and that might just sound like marketing speak, which it is in a way, but it does deliver a really good audio experience. I can't emphasize that enough. And for just listening to music, we haven't got headphone jack, but we do get an USB-C to 3.5mm audio adapter inside the box. I'm pretty sure that's also THX certified as well. And listening through earphones with that adapter is really very special indeed. A really engaging audio experience there as well. So they've really got a lot of the first sort of three things I've talked about right. Make that four to include the gaming. So we've got the gaming right. We've got the screen technology right. We've got the audio from the speakers right. We've got the audio from the USB-C to 3.5mm audio adapter right. What else have they got right? Battery life. 4,000 milliamp hour battery life in here. And I've been getting between a day and a half of full use, so medium to heavy use on this, including use of the camera, which I've been testing, which we'll talk about very shortly. And I've still got a percentage left on the battery, probably about 15% left, and that's after a day and a half. That's very, very impressive. Now, with regards to the core specifications in here, it's got a Snapdragon 835 processor, 8GB of RAM and 64GB of storage. The 8GB of RAM really helps with those high-end titles, also helps with having lots of applications running at the same time. The 64GB of storage, yes, it would have been nice to have more, but you can further expand that with up to a 2TB micro SD card. The actual screen display size is 5.7 inches, just for those of you who are wondering, and the resolution is 1440 by 2560. Now, when this was first released and people got it hands on early with it and they were talking about the cameras, they were not saying kind things. And I think they weren't either looking deeply enough or they weren't using it right, because in the right hands this really does produce nice quality photos. We've got two cameras on the back with dual phase detect auto focus. Both of them are 12 megapixels with different apertures. So one of them's got an f1.75 aperture, the other one's got an f2.6 aperture. The front-facing camera is 8 megapixels, and I think the front-facing camera is the one that does disappoint a little bit. It's acceptable, but it's not fantastic. The rear-facing cameras, I've taken photos with it, and I think they're really good. Let's take a look now at some of the photos I've taken. This first one is of one of the Christmas ornaments. You'd have seen this in my other recent smartphone reviews, and this has got a nice amount of detail. This wasn't done with studio lights, this was just done with a regular ceiling light on, so artificially lit, admittedly. We have got a little bit of noise around on the right hand side here, but it looks extremely good. Very, very good tonality to it, nice colours, really very, very good indeed. And then this other photo I want to show you is of some fruit. We've got a lime in the front area here, or in the foreground, a nice, bright, vibrant colour, exactly how it looked to the naked eye as well. And then we've got some nice defocus going on. If you look at the sort of oranges at the back, they are nicely out of focus, and it's the lime that's in focus. I think the camera does a very, very good job, and I really don't understand why so many people were complaining about it. And Razer have in fact said publicly that they are working on updates for the camera. So there's going to be software updates. I think there's already been one. So we will see further improvements regarding the tonality, dynamic range, etc., and how the camera works. The user interface admittedly is very simple. There's not a lot of features inside the camera app, but there's plenty enough there to take decent looking photos. With regards to build quality, and then I'll come on to some of your questions, I think the build quality is really, really nice. It's a slab type design, so it's very, very big. You can see the back here does show the occasional mark. You can see here sort of just some of the moisture that's come off my hand. But it's like a satin finish to it. The Razer logo just here, obviously camera and flash at the top. We've got a fingerprint sensor built into the power button, which is on the side, perfectly placed. I've had no problems with that working. And we've also got USB-C on the bottom. And then on this side, we've got the two little volume buttons. And then the top, just a secondary microphone. So really nice feeling smartphone. It is big, so do take that into account. Because we got the big chin and forehead for the speakers, it is a large phone, but it is pocketable and it's extremely nice to hold. When you feel this, it feels like a quality piece of hardware. And the software experience is really good as well. I've been really enjoying Google Android on here. Notifications, all the little sounds, the Nova launcher that they've integrated into here as part of the user interface, which has got like a green sort of tone to it. You can see it come through here. A lot of the icons here are a sort of green colour. They've just done the right choice by not trying to reinvent the wheel and do their own overlay. They've used Nova Launcher, which many people love and use anyway. So I think they made the right choice there. So let's take a look inside the chat. Again, thank you to everyone who's tuned in. I really do appreciate it. Raymond Morse is saying, hi Dave, finally the review. Yes, finally the review. I wanted to use this at least a week, and I think I've had it just over a week, maybe a week and 2 days before giving you my review. It's impossible to give a really good opinion about a smartphone until you've actually used it for a decent amount of time. Doing the unboxings and then these sort of flashy reviews with all the smooth pans is good. It's nice to see the eye candy, don't get me wrong, but having sort of a real in-depth sort of hands-on review of something and how this has been working for me over the past week, and I will talk to you a bit more about that in a short while, is the way to go. I think it's a lot more valuable to you guys who are watching. Deepak Murthy says, hi Dave, is the audio from the speakers really louder than that of other smartphones? I have heard similar in terms of loudness from other smartphones, but clarity, the actual detail as well, it goes very, very low. So we've got nice low frequencies, a real depth to the audio, and then also the detail in sort of vocals, and then the higher end frequencies, really very, very convincing indeed. So I think it's the volume, but that coupled with the actual audio quality as well, which really makes this stand above the other smartphones that are out there. Total Ace asking, does it have a headphone jack? No, it doesn't. USB-C. I think people get too hung up on having headphone jacks. There is an adapter inside the box. You don't have to carry that adapter around with you. You just simply attach that adapter to your favourite pair of headphones, and then the dongle disappears. You're just plugging in via USB-C. Many manufacturers do this now, and it is certainly the way things are going to go. Raymond Moore, Dave, do you have the new iPad Pro, the 120Hz refresh rate? Is the smoothness of the Razer phone similar to the iPad? Yes, indeed, I do have one, and yes, it is indeed the same. It is indeed the same sort of technology. Although I do think this, you get the choice, because with the iPad, I think it just ramps up when it needs to, and with this, you can actually switch it on as a default. I might be wrong there, but it uses very similar technology. Sumuna says, do you put a case on it? I'm still rocking this without a case. I wasn't sent a case with this, but I do believe there are some cases available from the Razer website. Anthony Kelly, hi Dave, the cheap feeling buttons kill it for me. I've heard other people say this as well. So with regard to the power button, it's not cheap feeling. The fingerprint sensor also works extremely well. Every time I turn it on, it just unlocks instantly. With regard to the volume buttons, so the volume buttons on this side here, I don't think they sound cheap or feel cheap. They've got a nice click to them. I think they just work extremely well. I don't see what people's problem are with the buttons. They might be plastic. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think they're nicely set with a little bit of protrusion from the side of the case. I think they feel very, very nice indeed. So I've got no problem with the buttons myself. Total Ace says, how much does it cost? Well, there is a link down in the video description. If you click that link, that'll take you through to the 3 UK website, and that'll give you the current pricing. If memory serves me right, it's around about £569, round about that sort of price. It's under 600 anyway, which I think is a very good price for this quality of hardware and the software experience. We have got an off-topic question here, which I will take, and then I just want to talk to you a little bit more about my experience with the Razer phone over the past week and a bit. Avinash asks, Dave, an off-topic doubt here. Is it safe to invest in Amazon Fire Stick, assuming that Amazon and Google will sort things out? I've got no idea. It's a really difficult question. There have been some sort of falling out between the two companies. So YouTube is not going to be available, I think, on the Fire Stick, something like that. They will probably sort out the problem, or people will find a way of side-loading it onto the device, or you'll use another service. The Amazon Fire TV Stick and the other Amazon Fire devices are really geared towards using Amazon Prime, and of course alongside Amazon Prime you do get free movie streaming, a lot of free content, so that is well worth considering getting if you're really into streaming movies. So anyway, let's move on to Stevens 288 saying, Notch, look at those bezels. You're referring to the iPhone 10. The iPhone 10 notch interrupts the screen. I would rather have a rectangular screen. It's each to their own though. Some people really like the iPhone 10 screen. Some people don't like the notch, myself included. Kale Photography says 2 lenses equals 2 focal lengths for the camera. No, not 2 focal lengths, it's just purely 2 different apertures. So one of them's going to help out in low light situations. But other than that, they're the same, both 12 megapixels. And I'm pretty sure they're both the same field of view. So that's how those cameras work. And I haven't really noticed any switching between the two. I don't even know how I would tell which one it was using. All I know is the photos look very, very convincing and good indeed. So let's talk a little bit more about my experience. I've been using this for just over a week. I've used it for the likes of Instagram, also been playing the 2 games that came pre-installed. Admittedly, I'm not a hardcore gamer, but Titanfall, Assault and World of Tanks played very, very well on this. Very smooth experience as well. For the likes of downloading stuff from the Play Store and using things like Google Chrome, email, Instagram, Twitter, etc., all of them worked absolutely fine. Really been enjoying it. And one of the highlights for me has been watching YouTube videos. Normally I use my OnePlus 5T or my iPad Pro to watch YouTube videos. I very rarely watch a video on the desktop here. This is all about production for me, and then my media devices are normally my smartphone and my iPad. I've really enjoyed using this for watching back YouTube videos because it's got a really good screen experience, and the audio has been really good as well. Sometimes I have to put the volume right up on my iPad Pro to get a good quality sound. The speakers on this are better, in my opinion, than on the iPad Pro, and they've made watching YouTube videos a much nicer experience. And also my experience of making a few phone calls with this, after all, a lot of people overlook that it is indeed a phone, it is a communications device, is really good as well. A nice clear incoming call quality, a nice microphone pickup on the bottom, so crystal clear for the people on the other end of the phone as well. And I also like something else. Let me just put the volume up. And it's a really small thing, but again, attention to detail, people. You ready? So when we lock this and unlock, it's just a small thing, but I just like it. Maybe I'm easily pleased. I just think that's a really nice touch that they've done there. And just one last thing to comment on the design. It's not everyone's cup of tea, but I really like it. I like the simple slab-like design. You know what you're getting with this. And I also like the fact that everything is rectangular. So we've got nice right-angled corners on the screen. Very, very nice screen as well. Let me just give you a close-up look at this screen without too much of the reflection coming in there. Really nice pin-sharp screen. Very good resolution. Very good viewing angles as well, and no colour shift. So the actual colour or tonality of the screen is pretty neutral. A little bit on the cool side rather than on the warm side, but certainly off axis you get no noticeable colour shift, and that's because it's LCD technology rather than OLED. So really good experience overall. We've got a really hard question coming from Marcus Mascord. Which is better, OnePlus 5T or this? That is such a hard question because you all know I've got a OnePlus 5T in my pocket. Wow, that is a hard question. I would say for media consumption, this 100%. Because the speakers, the screen technology, gaming, watching videos, listening to music, I would choose this. If I was looking for something that was more geared towards maybe a more punchy screen, tiny bit better photo quality, tiny bit better on video quality. The video capture on this is fine, but just a tiny bit, probably marginally better on the OnePlus 5T. If I could only buy one, that's a really hard call. I think my money would probably go on this because I've enjoyed my experience with this over the past week more than I have with competitors' products. If I was buying a phone tomorrow, I would probably put my money on the Razer phone rather than any of the competitors. It's just been a really good experience. The battery has been rock solid as well. So let's see if we've got any more questions. Alan Miguel is asking how much is the phone. I mentioned this earlier. There is a link down in the video description. Please do check that out. This is roughly the same price as the OnePlus 5T. I think it's around about £569. It's available either from the Razer store or from 3 UK, who made this video possible. You can get it on a contract from 3, or you can buy it outright on their pay-as-you-go scheme. And to buy the phone outright, as I say, it's round about the £560, £570 mark. So that's it for the questions. We've got no more questions in the chat at the moment, so I think I will sort of summarise that this is probably one of the best experiences I've had on Android so far. I think it's really very, very good indeed. Thank you to everyone who's tuned in. Don't forget to check out the links down in the video description area. Don't forget to also tune into the Geekanoids channel again. I've been doing a new broadcast every single day this week. I've got new content going up on the channel all the time as well, so please do subscribe. Thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic day wherever you are, and I'll see you in another one very soon.